This recording's coming along much nicer. Actually, let's go ahead and check and see what my devices are doing here. Microphone level pretty low. Testing 1 2. Okay, that seems to be all right. All right, so I don't know if anybody's actually looked at the other videos. I don't check my metrics. So first of all, welcome. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment or a like to let me know that anybody out there watching this. So you know that I've been going through and I've made for five. I've made 5 different characters on different servers. Most of them are supposed to have the lowest ping possible. Now, as you can see down here, there's a 33. Now, this is evening time, which is normally the time I play early morning or late evening. Um, well, this is kind of mid-evening right now, but during the raid window. Okay, I try to play during the raid window as much as possible, but most times I do get occupied with other things. First of all, having a real life. But more important, but back to the point here. So what I did was I went out and I created a bunch of characters on different servers as I'm exploring different servers. And I went ahead and chose all combat modes: PvE, PvP, PvE, conflict. As you can see, there is no PvE conflict here in this section. So the original plan is that every session that I sign in, I pick the character that has the lowest ping, other than these two guys who have been my mains for more than a few months. Um, I pick the character that has the lowest ping, and I go and I level them for at least 2 to 3 levels, or I play for about an hour. It depends. Some activities I can actually play better. Now, I would say that it's probably better to commit an hour to 45 minutes to playing them, but honestly, I don't always have that much time. Um, the thing is that what I'm trying to find is a server that is truly supportive. That it is playable, because you could have a server that has low ping, but if there are glitches and bugs in it because people have built all over, or they have placeables all over the place, so there's clouds of thralls shooting arrows down at you every time you go to find mine or iron or brimstone. Yes, that's a thing, and yes, I have been guilty of it during a war. So so then, now in a situation like this, where I have 3 servers here that all have a 66 ping, there's one of 2 choices I can do. I can either refresh the server and wait for them to come up, which is, I've done already twice, or I could go ahead and pick the lowest one. So let's go for the lowest ping. Now, even though you have the ping that's set up like this, it does, as you can see, it doesn't actually sort by server name. There's 3748, 3658. Even though it says 32 here, this says 33. Okay, here we go. There's another 36, there's a 37, there's 38, there's a 37. See, these guys are not in numerical order. So it's not stacking them by numerical order, and I don't think it stacks by number of players. It's the variance in the ping. Even though it says 33, I think that's milliseconds, millibytes per second. No, bits per millisecond. Bits per millisecond? BPMS, I think. I don't know. Anyway, there's probably fractions in that involved. So which means that this, even though it has 33 ping, has higher ping than, say, this guy. So what I'll do then is then I just go through the list. Now, I did not sort numerically by level, so it shouldn't be a matter. It's just by pure ping, which means that 3753, this level 20 guy right here with 5 people on the server, as you can see, both of these have the same number of people on their servers. This one has a higher number than this one, which is no problem. Um, so this guy right here is basically the one. Now, there is a slightly other modification that I could add to this rule, whether or not I actually bother playing Conan Exiles. So set up all combat mode, pick the region that you're in. If you're in America, pick America. If you're in the European market, pick the EU, excuse me. And always, if you're playing officials, play officials. If you're playing a private server, it really doesn't matter. But if you're that kind of player, that kind of person who hobbies like, should I really do this or can I do something else? Load up your screen, set your parameters. Don't click level, click only ping, and if you don't see any of your characters on that first screen, just don't play it all that time, because chances are you're going to be playing with a 99 or a 100 or anything else. But we're going to log into this guy, which, by the way, this morning he was able to be played. And if this is the first time you're walking into this little experiment that I'm doing, um, at the end of 4 weeks worth of play, whichever character has the highest levels is the one I'm keeping. The others I'm just going to let decompose out there, let the shit deconstruct, no matter what it is, because loot in this game is so It's not easy, but it is not unrecoverable, no matter what it is. There is nothing in this game that is once in a game rare. Okay, it's maybe difficult to get because it's on the rare side or ultra rare side of the loot table, but with enough effort and some patience, um, it will happen. It can happen. So I have been basically wiped down to the desert dozens of times in this game, um, and I have not ever had a problem recovering ever. And I'm playing as a solo, by the way. I'm talking about if you're with the constant group of two or more people, there's always a group of you playing. Recovering should never be a problem. And in this respect, hoarding loot doesn't do shit. You know, you gather your legendary gear, you gather your purge thralls, so that you can, you know, build better, build faster, craft better, craft faster, and then go do the content. The end result of this game should just you be having fun. Now, if you find making other people's play experiences miserable to be fun, I feel sorry for you because that's like eating a box full of donuts. Yeah, it may satiate for that whole time, but about an hour or two later, if you're not throwing up because you made yourself sick, you're going to feel even hungrier than you were before. And that is just the dynamics of, yeah, that kind of feeling. I mean, don't go for short-term sustainability. Go for the long-term enduring sustainability. And there have actually been on a few servers. They have since gotten wiped by server wipers, which of course made these poor guys just decide to break up and go other places. Some of them I have followed. Uh, so that's why a lot of these so-called alpha clans, I don't believe in alphas. I think alphas are basically a carryover from an older gaming style, systemic of Arc and Rust. Excuse me. So what it comes down to is that you want a server that's active. You want to have people that are playing. You want to have fun. If you're dominating the whole server and that's your game, that's fine. I wouldn't expect that you would have very many people lasting long on the server. You will be going through a constant circulation of players, which I don't see how that could be fun. Yeah, it's fun to blow shit up. Yeah, it's fun to raid someone. But I raid just to raid. I don't go for loot. I don't care about loot. In fact, most times if I break your walls and kill your thralls and send you to the desert because I broke your bedroll, that would probably be the only thing that I actually do. Break your bedroll and send you to the desert. I won't take your shit unless you've taken something of mine or somebody else's stuff. Afters, I won't wreck your stations because I want you to recover. I want you to come back. I want you to have fun, doing the counterattack. Excuse me a second. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I have been trying to move my character from that spot. That's the other thing too. When you log into certain servers, um, there's going to be some lag, and it's pretty darn crazy. This is a PvE server, I believe. Yeah, this is a PvE server. So, let's see. Let's go wreck. Let's go get some levels then. I'll go to 2 levels, or I will play for about 45 minutes. We'll use the broadcast timer. There we go. A little bit more strength. Let's do this. Let's do this. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So like I said, if you want to do the experiment that I'm doing, it's just kind of a side hobby. Uh, then if you end up with 2 or more characters with the same ping, then go ahead and just sort by actual ping and find the characters. This is kind of cool. So these are not the trees you want for vines. These don't drop vines. This one won't drop vines, will it? Alright, so you see these stringy things right here that I'm looking at? That stuff right there. That's the vines. So this is what you want. You aim at the top, and there you go. We got some vines. Alright, so let's see. Oh, he's fighting the hyenas.
Watch your flanks. Me and my mates are
Let's-
thick as thieves.
I want him to lose.
You've got no chance, mate.
I got crippled. I'm not too keen about the momentum-based movement anymore. It feels like a way for the game to kind of cheat you out. I'm not going to win that fight. Let's back off. Let's try to see if we can kite them back into each other. All I need to do is get one of those teams to hit the other guy. Oops. If he gets the AoE in there. Yeah, he sundered one of them. Oh, he's so one shot. There, he's dead finally. There we go. Pretty good, pretty good. Alright, we're done there. Oh, there we go. Skinning knife. And a hatchet. Sorry for the background chatter. There's a weird little patch of fur on the ground now. The hell is that? Okay. Oh, got some people pinging me now. Let's go find out who these are. Hey, what's up? Oh, cool. It's one of my old Destiny players, Stomper. Haven't actually talked with that kid in a long time. Stomper was one of my old raiding buddies from Destiny 1. We didn't actually play after Destiny 2 launched. He kind of went on to other games. Okay, let's check PlayStation notifications. Alright, nothing in there. Why can't I get this to... Huh. This is weird. It's like I can get Messenger to get smaller, but the PlayStation app itself is taking up the full fucking screen. It's kind of selfish. Okay, whatever. Huh. Whatever. Oh, I ran too far. Far away. Let's see. Let's make, oh, wait for the menu to come up. Let's make some walls. We don't really need walls because it's a PvE. Everything's locked down. There's no point whatsoever. I think the one thing I could probably do is, well, you want to make a hut because where I am, somebody could kite an NPC over to where I am, and then just by AoE attacking, end up getting me murdered. So I don't want that to happen. Let's go ahead and drop some coal. This is the first time I've gotten coal. And we're going to drop the feral flesh because I don't have gonna go ahead and put this away. Wait, hold on a second. right, sorry for the dead air. So yeah, so when you're playing PvE, all you really need to worry about is making sure that wherever it is you set up a shop, that you're not going to be in a spot where people can, you know, control you by getting an ad or two, like crocodiles over, and then letting the crocodiles attack while they're over your body, because they will do damage to you eventually, and it's not fun. Um, I've had it happen once to me. It says I was killed by a crocodile. I was like, how the fuck did that happen? And because I was on the shore, not one of these islands, further down the river. I was around here. No, I think it was actually around right here. There's a croc over here, and I was hiding on this peninsula. That's where it was. And apparently some player had telegraphed a croc over to me because I was outside of that croc's wandering range. So, wandering crocodiles should be a clan name. Let's think here. Let's go for. What, I want a 5x5. I think a 5x5 would be good. One, two, three, four. It's 5. So we need 10. Let's do it all. But yeah, in PvE, containers are totally locked down. Nobody can take anything from them. Um, it's actually pretty okay. I like PvE because it gives me a chance to play with other players if they want to come in and play. They don't have to, wait for because they have a co-op mode, but it's like hella restrictive because you can only have one other person in there with you. Um, the other cool thing is that there's no chance that anybody can steal your shit. Honestly, like I said, you can be trolled by having somebody kite over a boss or whatever to your base. Um, but that's not very frequent. That doesn't really happen all that much. 3 times 8 is 24, right? That's enough. I need 25 square blocks. At least 3 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey,
Hey, hey. Huh, Perfect. Because then what I could do, since it's PvE, come on. I'll drop this here. Open it up. And drop this guy. Now, normally I set my craft rooms up in the order that I do things. So, generally speaking, I have um, wood and smithing stations right next to each other. So like this, I'll set this up like a little L shape here. But now I can't do that because reasons. Um, let's take this guy down. Let's take this guy up. Okay, so if this was my entry point here to the shop, I'd have a small garden area right here. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to pick this up. And I don't have... Okay, so let's put all my crafting stations on my wheel. Sorry. Oh, I have it by weight too? No, I don't. Okay. It's sorted by custom. Alright, so we got that. So I don't have much of anything on me right now. Alright, so if that's my okay, technically this is gonna stay with that's my house, like I said. I just want my body into my area. Now I don't know if someone can get a boss down here to attack my stations if he'll be strong enough to actually break anything. We'll find out eventually. So the first things normally I set up is I have a deconstructor, a dismantler bench, which is later levels, and that'd be the first thing I get when I go through the door. Then I'd have a fluid press. Then I'd have a preservation box. Then I'd have the tanner. Then I would have the alchemy station. Then I would have, oh, actually no, I would have the tanner. Then I'd have the kitchen with the preservation box. Sorry, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I would have to have the preservation box here first. Okay, so I don't know. I've been toying with the order of operations because I am a solo player and I have to rely on that. Um, I have to rely on on my own internal efficiency. So I have to make sure that things don't decay. Um, so I guess it would actually be by the door. If this was the actual door, I'd have the stove and the preservation box. So no preservation box yet. Got to go north to get that stuff. So let's go ahead and put this right here. I have the stove, the preservation box, and then I'd have the fluid press. Um, I don't need that there anymore. Then I would have the tanner. I don't have a tannery. Okay, so that's 2 blocks for the tannery. Then I'd have an alchemist station. Because you'd have the tar coming off the tannery, you'd have the ichor coming off the stove and the fire in the campfire. So then you'd have your tannery here. So I guess I could place, I mean your alchemy station here. I could place the um, grindstone there for now, which would be good. And then I would have a composter with a planter here. I don't have a planter to make enough wood. Then I'd have because actually the fluid press is back there. So then this would be the fuel for the fluid press would be there, and this is why I would do, this is why I do a 5x5 space because it makes it just that much easier to sort everything out. Um, so for the moment, let's go ahead and let's see. Why can't I set it there? Okay, it wants to, but it doesn't. Weird. I want to line it up. Okay, there we go. Wait. There we go. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and just do this for now since I have these pieces. And... oh, wait. Eh. Yeah, why not? Let's make another one. How many of those can I make? 2? 2 is good. You can actually stack these pretty high, especially if you have the ability to get up top on something. It looks hella cool too, honestly. You don't have to have it. I'm trying to get it straightened. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so then I put vines in this one. Let's see. I'll put all of my aloe in that one. I will put my lotus in this one, along with some seeds. And then I will put the orange ficus along with some seeds in that one. Okay, perfect. And then in the grinder, I will go ahead and leave the bones. And the putrid meat. This is my shredded roast. I don't know what she's yelling about. Okay, so we'll do that. I was going to make a bunch of brick, but honestly, should probably hold off on that idea for now. Okay. Getting my stuff back on. The wheel. I got a little black candle. I can start collecting those now. I always try to keep at least one wheel open for like incidental spots. You know, like if I'm building or something like that. But you know. Okay, so then on the wood side of things, we'll go ahead and put all the wood in this side. I don't really need this because, you know, yeah, and I don't want that axe. Alright, making a composter. Oops. always try to remember what you have on stacked on top of shit if you stack shit. So, important thing. That was not something I wanted to have happen. Hold on a second. Alright, so let's see what we got going on. I don't really need a torch. Is this a improvised torch? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Can we make a torch? Oh, branches. There we go. That should be more than enough light to see by. Okay, that actually kind of looks nice. It looks like serious trash. Actually, I could just throw everything in there right now. Okay. Okay, so let's go get some more iron. Excuse me. So I don't really need on PvE. The only thing you need to worry about is the purge, really. And as I mentioned earlier, having somebody kite monsters over to your base to attack your base, which I have tried doing up in the north. Somebody was counter building against me, and they openly said that, you know, I'm counter claiming you. I'm taking over this area, and I'm gonna take you out by stopping your growth. Anyway, so they started building all around Azagarth, and which of course is where I was farming. A lot of people farm villages for the resources. That's really the most fun part of it all. Um, so yeah, I pissed off a bunch of mammoths in the area, and I kited them over to the wall that he put up, and I just stood on the wall while they had tried to attack me. Um, then they really didn't do much. I mean, it was a tier 3 wall. So yeah, the only reason why you'd want to go ahead... I didn't get the combo? What the hell? There we go. Huh, when he's crippled, he's also stunned. I must have just been out there. I missed that the Pike had a sweep. Pike should have a sweep. Oh, fuck! Indeed. I think a 4 times bleed should be enough to kill him. Oh, by the way, if you are a child as defined by the FCC and YouTube, you are not supposed to be watching this. do yourselves a favor, go find some Steven Universe or some She-Ra or something else on YouTube to watch. There's like a crafting video, perhaps, that doesn't feature a foul-mouthed, crafter artist. It's like this guy here. See what he's doing? He's. It looks like he's getting ready to build up all the way around all that. So that's Darkhaven. Um, oh, Braggy's still alive. That's suckage. Did I get my stuff? Nope. I have to wait for my body to. There we go. Here we go. Let's do this against my own hut. Let's see what happens. How far will he follow me? Oh, he'll follow me good. He won't climb. Let's see, he stopped. Then all you need to do is just kind of sit here with a pike or something. Poke him every now and then. See it, get him to try and attack me. No, not gonna happen. So they changed that mechanic. Huh.
You picked the wrong camp, mate.
Okay, cool. I suppose. So we're dropping that in there. Let's drop all the rest of this in. No, I can't really drop any of that in there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get some wood, and I'm going to make that tanner so that I can... what's in here? Okay, so we want that. Look at this. Alright, so we're going to make a tanner. I think I actually have enough. Where's the twine? I don't see any twine. That's going to be important. Oh, wait. I put a composter down and I didn't put anything in it? Ah, really? There we go. Da 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 da. Oh, cool, I got some boots now. Yay. Alright, so we're gonna need more wood. What I've noticed on PvE servers is that you'll get a minor lag spike when multiple enemies are approaching you. Just kind of be aware of that. I don't play with music on the game because, yeah, it can be a little counter-immersive. Not just the, music doesn't play on a regular basis all the time in my head when I'm doing other stuff, but mainly because it just jumps. Like, you'll get the combat music, and the moment you lose aggro, the combat music goes away. Now, if I'm in an area that I know is exceptionally hostile, and I need to be aware of when I'm being targeted, it's good to have the music on, because you hit that combat key, and it's a good way to bring things up, because you don't have a radar, you don't even have a compass rose, which I think is kind of ridiculous in this game. I mean, all you got is a map here that makes virtually no sense because the sun and moon rise from the southern. Notice how the sun's moving moving backwards, moving that direction. Okay, that's north. They even call this area the North, the frozen North. The sun rises in the south and sets in the north in Conan Exiles. Now, I know that this is supposed to be a time before time, uh, but ancient. Well, if if Atlantis was supposed to have existed, it existed sometime around the Sumerian Empire, apparently, according to Plato's words. Um, we actually know now in contemporary history that Atlantis is actually an allegory. It's not a real place. It's made up as an allegory for empires that become hubris, hedonistic, or corrupt. So yeah, it's just a cautionary tale. But in terms of the fiction itself, the Hyborian Age was supposed to exist sometime after the fall of Atlantis and the rise of the northern German tribes. This would put it about, I think, about 10,000 years ago. About 8,000 BC. Was it? No, it'd be about 3 or 4,000 BC, I think. Excuse me, BCE. Actually, let's look that up. I got some internet going on over here. When was the Sumerian Empire at its peak? So about 2800 BCE. According to Plato, when was Atlantis supposed to have fallen into the sea? About 96,000 BCE. So Conan's world existed sometime between 10,000 BCE and 2800 BCE and 3000 BCE, or actually 2000 BCE. You have to round down if you're on the negative scale, round it up on the positive scale, I think, or just round down. Rounding down in history is pretty better. It's okay. When you're dealing with thousands of years, hundreds of years, it's okay to round off to the nearest half century. I mean, half millennium. Alright, we're getting some coal. Yay. We should have... That should be enough. And dried wood is actually very nice for fuel. It's one of the more efficient fuels. Don't really need this. What I do need, or want, excuse me, what I want... According to Robert E. Howard, when was the Hyborian Age supposed to have taken place? So Atlantis existed before the Sumerian Empire, before the Egyptian Empire, uh, and so forth and so on. So there had to have been a world-changing cataclysmic. Okay, let's find out. Let's see. At what time in Earth's history has the sun ever risen from the southern hemisphere? Ouch. So the sun travels along in the hemispheres, northern and southern, but it's pretty much predominantly rising east and setting west. Now, let's find out. Let's re-ask that question. At what point in Earth's history has the axis ever tilted more than 90 degrees? That might be. In astronomy, axial tilt, also known as the obligatory obliquity is the angle between the rotational axes and its orbital axes. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I think our magnetic fields would probably get all fucked up. The 23.5-degree tilt is responsible for the seasons. If the Earth had no tilt, there would be no seasons. If the Earth was tilted by 90 degrees, the seasonal changes would be at the most extreme. The Earth's pole would point directly at the sun at a point on the track around the sun. Oh, so you'd have a hemisphere that is always in summer, like Game of Thrones. So when they say winter is coming, what it really is that the planet that the Game of Thrones is set on, Westeros is set on, uh, not only does a rotation, but it does an axial tilt that is quite extreme. Interesting. Um, let's go ask a direct question. Why does the sun rise in the south in Conan Exiles? Am I saying that the sun rise in the south and set in the north? Uh, Even the directions of the world are bad. Seems to be the most recent exploration of the topic. Alright. I think my next goal, other than making all the appropriate crafting stations that I have here, should be to actually make a sickle so I can get more fiber. But I have to get this is a good startup for the farm. It's a good startup for the farm. I'm not getting too much XP because I need to boost up. When you're playing PvE, it's having balanced stats in PvE is always a good idea. But I'm going for the harvesting stats, obviously. Well, encumbrance right now and grit, vitality to have a little bit of extra health points. Alright, so now look at this. No vines, so it's not going to drop vines. We'll just go ahead and chop it. I want to get to level 30 as soon as possible so I can unlock the sandstorm mask and then eventually the pickaxe. With the pickaxe, that's going to be really critical. I'll use a pick to get iron and coal and all that, but I'll use the pickaxe on every piece of vegetation I can find, except for, of course, the trees. They don't do anything. Also, I think if you use a pickaxe on something else... Oh yeah, rock nose is supposed to drop more resources. Yes, I'm overthinking this, but seriously, okay. The Age of Conan takes place in between the right. See, Atlantis sank or flooded due to the drastic realignment of the Earth's spin and changing of its axes poles. At least, kidding, I made that up. That's all bull. The real reason is Funcom. But that's a good theory. That makes sense. So, a cataclysmic orbital fail caused the sinking of Atlantis, which makes sense. I mean, if you're rotating if the Earth suddenly rotated 90 degrees for some whatever reasons, uh, it would be likely that there would be massive upheavals in the oceans and earthquakes and other things. Come on. I guess I have the high ground, Anakin. I'm definitely gonna make some
You've
phone
got no
cards.
chance, mate.
I don't know about that. I think I like my chances pretty good. Oops, maybe not. Chance swords are brutal. And we score! Hey, look, I got a shirt. Cool. Now I'm only partially naked, man. Hey, good looking. I'll be back for you later. Not. Owie. Probably asking yourself, Hey, Hako, why are you buzzing around this beach? Shouldn't you just be exploring all the way through? If you could just sleep anywhere you want, only the monsters can kill you? Well, because I want to try and encourage a purge. Look at that. Isn't that fun looking? It almost looks like home. Not. Alright, so where did I put everything? Bloink. Alright, we're going to grab this. We're going to put this in here. Get that going. Ah, yay! We got some compost. I'm going to try to drop off this. Drop you in here. Could actually start a cauldron. No, just get all the bees. Something I wish they could do in this menu system. Let's see, 1, 2, okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half of that is 16. Yeah. Still don't have enough twine. I need to get more twine. I guess I could get it from here. Okay. We'll just grind that out. Be back later. Never mind. Pickaxe is available at 43. Jeez. I'll probably have better tools by that time. We're gonna need that. That. get this guy by level 30. That's when you start running out into the deep desert and the Shadow Spring. Oh, yeah, boring.